Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Bob here once again with another video, and today we're going to be doing the DVD movie review of Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2, and it is the second installment of the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey franchise. So we've previously received the first one, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, and then we've got the follow-up, Blood and Honey 2, which was, I believe, was released in March of this year, so not too long ago, but it seems like a while ago now. It seems like how fast the year goes. So it was released back in March. Now, I never saw this at the cinema, like many other movies that I just keep missing. But yeah, just don't seem to say, like, going to take. I mean, I'll take. I go to the cinema when I can, but I just, yeah, it's just hard to find the time to go, and yeah, just don't always get round to it. And then like most things, end up getting them on the DVD. But as I said, I'll get them mostly on DVD anyway, for the channel and the collection, and do the reviews on them and collections and whatever, for people to enjoy. And now I'm going to do a review on this. So yeah, I hadn't seen this. I hadn't actually seen the first one. I just, like as I said, not just trips to the cinema, but yeah, I just didn't get round to seeing even the first one. Yeah, just totally missed it, or just didn't get around to seeing it. So, because I know the second one was out, I wanted to get the second one, and then I bought the first one as well. So then I watched them both. Actually, watched them both back to back on Sunday, because today is Tuesday, and I watched them both on Sunday back to back. So did the double on them. So yeah, so here is the review on it. So obviously, yeah, if you don't know already, obviously Winnie the Pooh, the iconic fictional character, the bear, by obviously Christopher Robin, who did all the books or whatever. And yeah, but this is unlike that. They decided to do a horror-based movie on the character. So yeah, they certainly come up with any idea that they can these days. I mean, they could pretty much turn any character, good or bad, into a horror character. I mean, they could just easily do one with the Smurfs. Make them killers. I'm not surprised if they eventually do that. I'm sure someone will at some stage. Yeah. So yeah, they decided to do it. Turn Winnie the Pooh into a horror character, which was don't believe had been done before. Maybe that's why they did it. But yeah. So anyway, so we obviously know the events of the first one. Obviously, Christopher Robin is obviously with, or he had been with, Winnie the Pooh, and the other characters, Piglet, Owl, and Tigger. And then obviously he decides to leave them, and then they become feral because they have to fend for themselves. And yeah, they're left in the wild. They're just left in the wild, and then they become feral, and then eventually they get thirst for, see, blood and honey, and then they sort of go on, to become feral, and getting more feral, and just basically living in the wild, becoming more wild, and then eventually they go on this killing spree. So that's the events, and then after the events of the first one, seemingly dead, and left for dead, or left in the wild, Pooh. And then Christopher Robin leaves there to go back to his hometown, and then he thinks it's all over, and then that's when the events of the second one take place. And then yeah, so the killing rampage just continues after the events of the first one. Christopher Robin leaves to go back to his hometown, and Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, Owl, and Tigger decide to, they've been living in the woods as as being feral, wild, and then decide to finally leave the woods and go on a killing spree in the hometown of Christopher Robin, and obviously go after Christopher Robin himself. And yeah, and after because Christopher Robin goes back after the deaths of some of the characters in the first one, Christopher Robin goes obviously to tell everyone about the incident, and then it's the secret is revealed about Winnie the Pooh doing a killing spree, but actually the police think that it's Christopher Robin that's doing the murders. Yeah, because they find the bodies and they think that it's him, but he tells them that it's Winnie the Pooh, but they don't believe him. And then but then more killings happen, and then it sort of all spirals out of control, and that's sort of really the gist of the movie. Now, the actors that are in it, some of them are not well known. Because in the first one, I think it's based in America, as far as I know. But the second one is actually based over here in my hometown country, in England, London, England. So yeah, the first one is set in the States, but the second one is set over here in the UK. And yeah, the actors some of them are quite unknown, or I've not seen many of these actors. I mean, there's quite a few unknown actors I haven't seen before, so there's quite a young cast. Didn't catch any of the names. As I said, I watched it on Sunday, but didn't really pay any attention to any of the names. But I mean, I think they're all young and upcoming actors, and the writing is so small I can't even see that, to be honest. Let's have a look. Scott Charles, is it, or someone? Yeah, I'm not even gonna. That is so small. I mean, I'm short-sighted as it is, but I mean that's just ridiculous. Yeah, I can't. I can't work that out. Yeah, I'm not going to attempt that. I mean, I'm short-sighted, so having writing like that certainly doesn't help. Right, so I'm not going to bother with that. Yeah, so cast is fairly young, and I said I just gave you the gist of Maniac. Now, I will say I think this is certainly I think this is an improvement over the first one. I found the first one. I'm not going to talk too much about the first one, but I'll just say the first one I found. I think there was bits and pieces I liked. I think the level of violence was maybe in a sense a bit over the top, but I think it had to be like that, maybe as brutal as it could be. And I think some of the kills were quite good, actually, to be honest. I think some of the violence may have been over the top, but it looked quite cool. And Winnie the Pooh looked quite strong as a believable horror villain. He looked strong and powerful and convincing. Although I will say I don't like the design of the Winnie the Pooh. That's no, maybe some people might disagree with me, but I think it looked more like just a big, massive guy with a mask on, that looked like Winnie the Pooh. To be, although even it is someone with a Winnie the Pooh mask on. Obviously, it is, but I feel that it should have looked more like, rather than looking like bear-like, it looked too human-like. It just looked like a massive guy in a mask, even though it is a massive guy in a mask, but I don't think that should have appeared that way on screen. I feel it should have been more bear-like looking, sort of, rather than him just sort of, because he had the Winnie the Pooh face, which I'm not really was that keen on the face, although the face looked still bear-like, but body looked too human for me. And especially when he had like clothes on as well. So it just looked like a guy with a mask on. When obviously it is, but it shouldn't have been. I think it should look more bear-like, maybe not having clothes and then like a bear body, I don't mean like bare body, but like you know that we see werewolves. You don't see werewolves with clothes on, or well, not most of them. But you know what I mean. It should have been more bear-like rather than sort of human. But because Winnie the Pooh was a bear, he wasn't a human. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. And I think I think actually, I think the second one is improvement. I think the first one, I didn't like the pace. For me, some of the pacing, if it was right, and I don't think the suspense was there. I think a lot of things were rushed. Some of the kills, I think, were quite rushed. And some of the scenes, I think they just sort of rushed a lot of it into like some of this the suspense. I don't think it wasn't long enough in certain places where there was when there was kills. I think they sort of rushed a lot of the kills and a lot of the scenes, and I don't think it was spaced out well enough. The timing, yeah. So for me, I think the first one, as I said, kills was alright. But yeah, there was a lot of things that I didn't like. As I said, I mean, overall, I don't like the Winnie the Pooh design, and I didn't like, as I said, for me, I just thought its pacing was, wasn't set out right. I think they sort of wasted a lot of time before everything started going, and it was all sort of like rushed towards the end, and there was like the suspense was sort of like cut short, and I felt it was a bit. I think there was sort of stuff that needed to be redone. Now going on to the back to the second one, which we're mostly trying to discuss. The second one is, I think the pace. I think the pacing is more better. It seemed to sort of like flow, and I think there was more suspense. The killings wasn't as rushed, I felt, and I felt the pace of each scene and each kills and the length duration in between each kills was better spaced out, and I felt it sort of flowed more. The next scene going into the next scene, and when there was kills that needed to be and when there didn't need to be, and it sort of seemed to flow a lot better than the first. And I think the timing seemed a bit better. And there was a lot of scenes that I did quite like in this, that seemed quite cool, and it just seemed like a genuinely good type of horror film. And I think the kills were, I'm not sure if I could say better as such, but I mean, they were quite as good, quite brutal and cool. And I did feel when I was watching it, quite, when you like to feel, well, I say sort of relaxed when you're watching a horror film, but sort of like, you know, not where you're going to think you're watching it and it's sort of like, oh, this ain't very good, it's not very enjoyable. And I felt this was more, when I was watching it, I felt like more, you know, I felt more relaxed and felt, more, I was enjoying it more. And I just felt everything flowed right, and I sort of believed the characters, and it just gave a good sense of, you know, good sense feel to the storyline. I felt like I was getting more into the storyline, and felt, I wanted to be interested in it and see what was happening. It just felt more enjoyable as the first one. As the first one was sort of like not as relaxing because I thought it had a lot of problems, but I think this one was certainly better, an improvement. Yeah, and I think, as I said, I think the kills better. I think the timing was better, and it seemed to flow quite nicely. I think the suspense was quite good as well. There wasn't no, I think, rushed. That rush kills. Maybe perhaps the first scene maybe was slightly rushed, but it was okay. It was passable. And yeah, don't really have many issues. Maybe it should have been slightly longer because I think it's about 125-ish. So maybe I thought it maybe should have been a little bit longer, but not that too long because horror films shouldn't be over an hour and a half. But I felt definitely felt a lot of places it was better than the first, and I think overall it was quite good. Maybe we could say other negative thing, maybe the acting wasn't that great. I mean, the acting's not that great in the first. Maybe the acting, British acting, uh, generally in horror films is not that great. Anyway, so I think in this, probably not that great either. But yeah, I think I quite liked some of the characters, especially like Christopher Robin. His character felt quite convincing and believable and likable. And yeah, and Winnie the Pooh looked quite strong, although I didn't like, as I said, I don't like the design, but he looked quite strong and the kills quite good. So I think overall, yeah, pretty good to be honest. Yeah, I'd give it, I think, to be honest, the first one, well, I probably would have said maybe 6 if I'm being generous. This is, I think, a lot better. I think maybe an 8. Yeah, maybe an 8. I think maybe 6 on the first and 8 on this. Possibly with maybe a few things that could have been better, but I don't think much. It may be an 8.5 on the second one, but yeah, certainly better than the first. And I believe they're making a third one, so I think it's 2026. I think the next one's coming out, so quite a while to go yet. But yeah, I'm sure I'll get that and add to the collection. So, guys, yeah, so it's an 8 out of 10, I think, on this. So, guys, yeah, so I thought it was quite good and better than the first. So, guys, that's going to be my review on this. Hope this review is not too long. If it is, feel free to skip or whatever you like doing. And yeah, guys, that's going to be my review on it. So, guys, hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye for now. See you soon. Thanks for watching. And have a really awesome Halloween. Take care.